What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new live episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I'm one half of the Hot Mic, the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by the other half there, the Sneider himself, Jeff Sneider. How are you, brother?
Johnny boy!
I swear, I think Robert Downey Jr. yelled that from the stage at Hall H. I feel like he yelled that holding that Dr. Doom mask up. Welcome, everybody. Great to see my brother here, Jeff Sneider. If you remember, a few days ago, he came live with us on his phone for 10 minutes to talk about this big thing that happened at Marvel. We are going to go much more in depth today on the show here on the return of Robert Downey Jr. and the Russos to Marvel and what it all means going forward. Jeff wrote an excellent piece breaking it all down. If you don't subscribe to his newsletter, you can do so at
theinsnyder.com. That was my cue, guys. I blew it.
Well, we got there. That's what matters. We're going to talk about so many other things that are going on in the world of entertainment as well. We got a bunch of trailers. We got some conversation about James Gunn and Superman. We got a lot of stuff happening here. So sit back, relax, enjoy yourselves as we entertain you over this next hour and a half, so to speak. And
Rocha, why do I have more color than you?
Right now? Oh, I don't know. I'm probably washed out a little bit. Sorry about that.
You gotta get some sun, bro.
There you go, bro. There you go. I'm a little browner now. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. I know you're right. I should get out and about, but I like being a shut-in. There's too many crazy people out in the world. But of course, Streamlabs and Superchats, those are super important as well. So many Streamlabs or Superchats that have come through already. Send in your love, send in your support, send in your questions. You see the address above Jeff's head. It's also pinned in the description of the video. All right, Jeff. All of that is out. My 2-minute opening is done. Let's talk about this thing. Robert Downey Jr. coming back to Marvel to play Dr. Doom. This is all everyone's been talking about for the last few days. It closed out Saturday's Hall H Marvel panel there. Massive surprise for a lot of people. Maybe not for Jeff Sneider, but certainly a massive surprise for a lot of people who had suspected it but didn't know how he was going to come back. And tongues have been wagging, fingers have been slamming typewriters ever since, or keyboards rather, ever since to talk about this. So, Jeff, what can you tell us about how this all came about? What can you tell us about what the seismic reaction has been to this announcement?
I mean, I've been surprised by the reaction. The reaction has been a little negative.
Yeah, it's been split.
Yeah, there's definitely been a split, but I'm just like, what did these people want? Who did they want as Doom? Like, how can you get better than Robert Downey Jr.?
I mean, there have been people who have suggested other people that could have slid into that role for sure.
And like, what a smart way to get him back to the MCU. What did you think? He was going to come back to play Iron Man for the 9th time? Like, I don't, you need to give him another note to play.
Yeah.
And another note would be from a hero to a villain. Okay. He would make a great villain to begin with.
Yeah.
Just like, what do you think? Christian Bale is going to come back to play Batman? No, Christian Bale goes to play Gore the God Butcher. Right?
Right, a villain. Yes.
Right, yeah. A villain, exactly, in Thor. Yeah. I imagine that was sort of the thinking. Like, if I'm going to come back, I want to do something completely different.
Yeah. Well, it got a massive reaction in the room for sure. It was, people were jumping up and down. I turned down my invitation to Hall H. I got worried about all the COVID numbers going up, and I just didn't want to be in an enclosed room for 7 hours.
Sure, you didn't want to be sex trafficked?
I did not. Yeah, that too. We could talk about that.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that story dropped today on Variety as well. Crazy sex trafficking going on there at San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, I mean, I turned it down because I didn't want the COVID numbers are going up. Didn't want to be staying in the locked room. But I have to say, I do regret a little bit that I didn't go because the excitement of Hall H, Marvel recaptured the excitement of Hall H. And this is such an unusual Hall H for Marvel. They didn't announce anything that was a future project they were working on. They didn't map out their future phases. They just said, this is the stuff we're working on. This is what you have to look forward to. And boom, Downey Jr. is Victor Von Doom here. So, but the reaction online, as you said, Jeff, has been super mixed. Oh, I mean, sliding towards negative. A lot of people feeling this is a little desperate. This is a little sad. I mean, we just, as you point out in your article, and I've said this before as well this week, Deadpool and Wolverine, there's a scene where the main Deadpool says you're joining the MCU at a kind of a downtime. So there's this feeling that this is a bit desperate. But I also take your point that Downey wasn't going to come back unless he was challenged in some way. And this is a really great challenge for him. And it seems like he's got a bigger boulder to push than initially anticipated.
And he's done all the things that everyone was criticizing him for over the past decade, like after he was just Iron Man over and over and over, or Shellhead, as Jamie likes to call him. He won an Oscar.
Yes.
He could very well win an Emmy in September for The Sympathizer, in which he played like 4 roles.
Yeah.
And he's going to Broadway for the first time ever in something called McNeil, which is not obviously like some play that everyone trots out every few years and it's a safe choice.
Yeah.
It's like a bold, daring new choice, apparently. So, that's 3 things in a row that he's doing before going back to Marvel and taking the payday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what a payday it is.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. It looks like it's going to be $50 million per Avengers movie, right? I don't think he's going to get 50.
No, not for Fantastic Four.
Not for Fantastic Four. So 50 for, but with this is like a sports thing with incentives that it could go to 100 million per movie. So this is crazy. I mean, Disney's laid off people recently. Disney's had trouble getting people. We've been talking about driving down budgets, but Jeff, you said 67 people in this Secret Wars film, plus the 50 million for Robert Downey Jr. Are we looking at $1 billion production budget first time ever for a film? Man, this is crazy.
But the Russos just did, like I said, a 300, possibly close to $400 million movie with The Electric State.
Yeah,
with Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown.
Right.
So I think that this will also be in the 300 to 400 range, quite frankly. And I had said that all along, that like Marvel may cut back elsewhere, like Blade may be cheaper, Fantastic Four may be a little bit cheaper, but like on these Avengers movies, they're gonna spend.
Yeah,
and clearly they did. So I was planning to write about the salary all day, and then that night, obviously, Bellany and Tatiana Siegel of Variety, they had the same idea, and we're all basically in the same ballpark. Where she basically said the Russos are making 80 million, which is 40 million a movie, and that's without incentives.
40 million to split between them for one, and 40 million to split between them and the other. Right.
Sure. But like, that's on them. The fact that they're a package, and they have to split the fee, that's on them.
Right.
To spend $40 million on your director slot per movie is obviously probably the most ever. I mean, I would imagine so. Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
as a flat fee, as like a flat fee.
Yeah.
Right. With it. And again, that's without the incentives. And so when those reports also sort of indicated that Downey was even more than the Russos, and understandably so, they're going to see him, not because they're coming back. They're going to see Downey in whatever capacity. I think he's worth every penny. And so, because he's the difference between these movies grossing $700-800 million and grossing 1.5 to $2 billion. So if it costs you an extra 50 million, or 75 potentially, it's insane though, the investment.
Yeah, but I'm going to play devil's advocate with you on this, Jeff. You're speaking from a time in the past, 5 years ago. The landscape of filmdom has completely changed over the last 5 years with COVID, the strikes, everything, like the people not going in the numbers they used to before anymore. And look, Deadpool and Wolverine is doing great, and that's great for Deadpool and Wolverine, but you're bringing back a guy that the reaction has been mixed online. People don't find this creatively exciting necessarily overall, it seems like, and you're taking a chance with that they're going to find the magic again, Feige, Russos, and Robert Downey Jr. in this situation here. And are you guaranteeing, do you sense that people would still go 1.5 billion? Because I'm not sure that they will, because the excitement hasn't been that strong.
Oh, I definitely do. I disagree.
Okay.
I completely disagree. I think that Robert Downey Jr. is a butts in seats movie star, particularly not just as Iron Man, but in this franchise in general.
You mean in the Marvel, right? Because it hasn't been proven true outside of Sherlock.
Obviously, he hasn't had that opportunity. He's always been Iron Man, but and I know he's going to have a mask as Dr. Doom. It's just a matter of how much, right? I mean, I can't imagine it'll be that much. If you're paying that much, you got to see your movie star's face.
Yeah.
But there was there was more to it. Like, he wouldn't come back, I don't think, not necessarily, at least, without the Russo brothers. I think that they were a big part to getting they played a big role in getting him back.
Yeah, I know. When we spoke about it a few weeks ago, the Russo brothers, we talked about the possibility of them of like the other actors coming back from the original Avengers and Chris Evans and all of that. I mean, it seemed to be logical that the easiest way to lock them down, I think I said it on the show or other shows, the easiest way to lock these guys down is to bring the Russo brothers back. And it seems like that was the thinking. But, you know, some of the reporting you did in your newsletter, you've heard conflicting reports on when this deal was actually locked down. You heard about the possibility in May. People were reporting that it seems Devin Faraci was reporting like it was locked down last week. Like there's a lot of conflicting reports because Fantastic Four's Matt Shackman said he knew about it months ago. So
right, that's
what's the
thing.
truth here? What's the truth here? Do you think this was the plan?
I think that they maybe started going after him, you know, months ago and maybe got close, but like, you know, it was no cigar potential, you know, when they weren't necessarily going to have the Russos, because the Russos was like a relatively recent development, I think, in the last month or so. And so I think that's where the, you know, miscommunication seems to lie, where it's like, I think we all did start hearing Robert Downey Jr., not we all, but like some of us did, started hearing him in early May. But maybe it really didn't work out because of the director situation. And then it only closed until, you know, this past week, basically the week before Comic-Con.
Well, I mean, now we look at the situation. He's coming back probably in an end credit scene in Fantastic Four or a final scene in Fantastic Four.
Right. To me, it was such a weird thing that people were like, you know, what did we really think he's going to just appear out of nowhere in the movie named after him?
Right. You know what I mean? In Avenger Doomsday, he's just going to show up. Exactly. Yeah.
I just and I'd heard this all along, you know, before we'd even heard Robert Downey Jr. It was always that Doom isn't going to be a big part of Fantastic Four, but he will be there at the very end.
Right. So the question becomes, and this is where I kind of get a little bit of a snag. Is he going to be playing a Tony Stark variant? Is he going to be playing Victor Von Doom? Do you want, I mean, because what's the challenge if he comes back and he's doing the chikam, the cool guy in the room, just doing evil things? What's the acting challenge if he does that? Is he going to be a completely different interpretation of Victor Von Doom and have nothing to do with Tony Stark? And if he does, why do people want to come see him do that instead of be Tony Stark again?
I think we're almost like debating semantics.
It's important.
No. So it both is and it isn't. Like, I'm going to have the conversation with you now, but I'm going to preface it by saying, who gives a shit?
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's what you said in your newsletter as well.
Right, exactly. Like, let's preface it, like, who really gives a shit? Like, it's Robert Downey Jr., right? Who cares about what role he's playing?
Okay.
But, okay, so now let's have the conversation where, obviously, I was told originally that he was going to be playing a variant.
Yes, a Tony Stark variant. Yes.
Right. I don't see how it makes sense if he's not playing a variant.
Yeah.
Other than, I mean, again, it's so convoluted with like the different worlds and which world this is going to be set on,
right?
And which I have no idea what world the sacred timeline is. Anchor being, this is all like comic book dork shit. Yeah. Like this is for like the nitty gritty.
Sure. But you know, the comic book dork shit are the reasons why these films make a lot of money, because those are the people going back to see it 8 to 10 times. Your brother's only going to see it twice. You know,
I get that argument about the repeat business, but I disagree. And I got an email about you complaining about Gunn not bringing like Superman footage to
that's later. That's for later. Okay.
But it's related. Related.
All right, I'll let it in evidence. And who's the email from? Your friend Jamie? Tell him to calm it down over there on Twitter. Tell him no one calls me a bitch or I'll break his fucking legs.
Did he call you a bitch, Jamie?
Yeah, he did on Twitter. Like a moron. We're not friends, Jamie. We haven't met Jamie. We haven't hung out and had conversations, Jamie. You don't get to call me a bitch. So go ahead, Jamie.
All right. I don't know there's accusations flying left and right on this podcast. I don't know, where was I going with the James?
We're going with James Gunn and Superman and the footage, and you got an email. What was that all about?
Oh shit.
Focus.
Never mind. Where were we before
geek
that?
Shit. We were saying it's geek shit, and I was saying how like multiple people, the geeks are the ones who go multiple times, and I said your brother's gonna go like
right. No, I think that okay. So that's okay. That's where the Superman stuff came in. Okay. It's like the people at San Diego Comic-Con, that ticket is sold.
Sure, for the 6,000
you got to sell tickets to
people
me. You got to sell tickets. I mean, obviously I get them because I'm pressed, but like my brothers and the guys I went to high school with, because I'm telling you, they're not the ones going on opening weekend, but they're willing to if a movie is actually good. Not good because, you know, the typical critics say so. Yeah. But like, you know, if there's actual word of mouth coming out of these movies, like there was for Black Panther.
Yeah. Right.
Or Avengers or what, you know, whatever it is. Like, I think that is how these movies gross $1 billion or $2 billion. Yes, it's the repeat business, but it's also getting people to the theater who don't normally go to these movies.
The casuals. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Right.
Right.
Look at like Black Panther, like, you know, that's an example particularly of like getting an audience that does not typically turn out.
Yep.
And I think that if these movies can find that audience, not that everyone has an audience like Black Panther does.
Yeah.
You know, that's how these
But how much of an audience is it going to be if he's not actually playing Tony Stark or a Tony Stark variant? Will this affect the audience of people going like, I don't know?
Here's another question, John. If he is Doom, right, as you know, because they introduced him as Victor Von Doom and all that kind of stuff, right?
That's what the Russos did.
Does that leave room for there to be another Iron Man?
There does. Paging Tom Cruise.
That's what I think. It's like, how do you get bigger than Robert Downey Jr.? You
get Tommy Cruise.
But if you could, it would be Tom Cruise.
Listen, if you're going to break the bank and it's already broken, you might as well break it some more and shatter it in half and go get Tommy Cruise, because that would be awesome. It just all depends on how much of a role he's going to play. The other part of this, though, Jeff, is there's a lot of people speculating that this could be a Doctor Doom variant and that he won't be the Doctor Doom going in past Avengers Secret Wars, and that there'll be another Doctor Doom that kills the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom or sends him back to his universe without the Fantastic Four, and then that Doctor Doom takes over as Doctor Doom in Earth 616.
Do you understand how fucking geeky this sounds?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Do you understand? Like, what are you talking about?
Well, because we are still in the multiverse saga, so this is a legitimate conversation to have. As we've seen literally a film right now is making $500 million with a Wolverine variant in the movie. So
my mother was alive to see this. Ma, shut up. I'm having a legitimate conversation here.
Ma, meatloaf.
Ma, mac and cheese.
I mean, these are things, these are concerns or questions to have, for God's sake.
Are they? Can't we just not speculate on this for the next 3 years and just get what we get?
But you're lost in the whole, like, this is great, but there's actually roadblocks
so
here.
They're just going to introduce, like, hey, guys, that's Victor Von Doom. And everyone's going to look and be like, and that's it. Like, do they play that for a comic beat? Like, I don't understand. Wouldn't they? And if it's in the 60s or in the past, wouldn't people have recognized Iron Man as being like, don't you look just like, Dr. Doom?
That's the question. I mean, would Downey Jr.'s ego stretch to where he's playing both an Iron Man variant and Victor Von Doom?
He can do it all, that Robert Downey Jr. Let's be serious.
Yeah, I mean, come on, he can do it. He's playing 4 characters in that Compromiser show, or whatever it's called.
Compromiser?
Whatever it's called.
Sympathizer?
Sympathizer, that's it. But let's move on to this other aspect of it all, since I know you don't want to get too geeky. That's probably for the geek buddies. But like the other aspect.
Save that for your fucking geek buddies, John. Jesus.
All right, but let's move on to this. Something you touched on in your newsletter, and I've seen other people certainly come forward and touch on this as well. And I don't give a fuck how much you all get pissed off in the chat. We talk about everything on this goddamn show. When we move a black actor like Jonathan Majors out of the way to make room for the white Jesus Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., what are the optics on this? What is the feeling on this? I saw quite a few people tweet about this, that they were upset about it. Of course, you have to factor in that Jonathan Majors kind of did this to himself with these accusations and the video and the conviction. So in essence, I'm gonna
piss on a column I'm working on right now.
Okay.
But I do want to write about Majors, because obviously there's tremendous irony in the fact that this guy lost a movie to a guy with a longer rap sheet than he has.
Oh, that's a fair point.
That's the only point. I mean, but like Robert Downey Jr. did the work.
Yeah.
And Majors kind of is trying maybe to come back a little too soon. He's got to go away for a little while and do the works, or whatever that entails.
Yeah.
I do think he will be back.
He was on TMZ today, and he said, I want to come back to Marvel if they'll have me back. So he was very conciliatory in his approach here, as opposed to Gina Carano, who's trying to subpoena everybody over at Disney.
I think that ship has sailed. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
I think that ship has sailed. I don't see that happening.
Do you see him coming back in a DC movie? I mean, if anyone knows about being canceled for jokes or whatever, or for bad behavior and coming back,
Gunn is the kind of sympathetic, ear, but it also may be the kind of situation where it's like, hey man, I'm the head of a studio now, and there's certain optics involved in that, and there's only so much I can do to help resuscitate your career.
Yeah.
But there are other movies that Gunn and Safran may produce. I don't know if they're going to necessarily be at DC their entire careers.
Yeah.
And so who knows? I think that Majors will come back, and I think someone will pick up Magazine Dreams too soon. Okay. If not for this Oscar cycle, then definitely for next year's.
Yeah,
possibly for this year's though still. But he will be back. Just I think his days of Kang are done.
I want to play something for you and for everybody in the audience, especially for Murderanta, who's clearly a very sensitive guy today. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. There are people having this conversation, whether your brain can handle it or not, Murderanta. And I'm going to bring up Godfrey here. This is Godfrey, noted comedian Godfrey, talking about the situation. I want to see what you think about this, Jeff.
Robert Downey Jr. is set to play Dr. Doom. He replaces Jonathan Majors. Now, there's a lot of backlash happening because of this, because, Robert Downey Jr., who has a criminal record, drug possession, all kinds of shit. By the way, I love Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the baddest actors around. Love him. Iron Man, Charlie Chaplin. I mean, the boy is bad as shit. But Jonathan Majors is getting a raw deal, man. Why can't they forgive him, man? This is one little thing that happened. First of all, there was a white woman chasing his ass. That's all I'm saying. I think the guy should be forgiven, but I don't want to bring up race. Why does it have to be about race? Well, obviously it is about race, and it's kind of unfair because white actors can be on heroin, be in rehab, all kinds of shit, and they get chances. They get other chances to redeem themselves. And it's always an amazing story. He was in rehab, and then he came back and won an Oscar. You understand where I'm coming from? It's the same thing they do to Denzel. Denzel should have 5 Oscars by now. Limit him to 2.
All right. So that he's going off a little, spinning off there, but that's what I wanted to kind of
He's absolutely not wrong. He's not imagining it. And it's 100% correct that black men, women don't get, for different reasons, obviously, don't get the second chances that a white man may be afforded in this industry.
And a white woman. Yeah.
Sure.
As I saw with Drew Barrymore there. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think this is a legitimate thing to be concerned. I don't see quite the massive backlash, but certainly amongst a contingent of black Twitter, I certainly see that there is a strong pushback on this and a bit of frustration here because there is a lot of
totally
people
understand.
Yeah, because Jonathan Majors is a fantastic actor, and this situation is a bit
which shouldn't matter. But I understand. It does.
Well, it did with Robert Downey Jr. Remember,
absolutely, he was such a
people went to bat for him through his drug use and issues because he was a great actor.
You're taking the words out of my mouth. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, when Godfrey, it's Godfrey, right?
Yeah, Godfrey,
is using phrases like, "Well, it's just one little thing." It's like,
right.
It's one little thing to who?
Right, exactly. That's a fair point. It's and this idea that this really skinny white woman is chasing him is some kind of threatening thing. I think is a bit.
It's not
overdone.
On Marvel to forgive him. It's on audiences to forgive him first.
Yeah.
And the Marvel train may just be moving so fast that they don't have time to sort of wait for that career rehabilitation. It's not like, Robert Downey Jr. in the 90s was a part of some big franchise that could put its plans on hold for him. Mm-hmm. They would kind of just move on. And it's not like they recast Robert Downey Jr. as Kang. They refashioned the whole movie.
Yeah.
And maybe, listen, it probably was because of Jonathan Majors and they're using it as cover or whatever, but may have just been a creative necessity.
But are we done now with the Kang storyline? Are they just writing that out? Do you think they'll cast some other actor
in this universe? They can revisit whatever, whenever. I mean, look what they did this weekend.
Right, with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Characters you never thought you'd see again, let alone ever.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it is. So I bring that up.
By the way, can we talk about him real quick?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about? Who?
Channing Tatum was good.
All right, then we're going to spoil a little bit of Deadpool and Wolverine here in this conversation. So just let you know right now.
Real quick.
I mean, real quick. Yeah, well, there's a couple of things we should talk about from that movie, spoiler-wise. But yeah, if you want to turn it down for about 5-10 minutes, feel free. And then we'll take a break after this conversation. But Jeff, yeah, go ahead. Brother.
I don't know if I'm going off book here. I just we obviously didn't get to talk about it last week. $200 million worth of people, saw the fucking movie this weekend. So right. It's probably 250 by now, right? It was making 25
worldwide as of this morning.
It was making like 25 million on a weekday, like domestic. So I feel like if you don't know and you're watching the show and you don't know what's going on in Deadpool by now,
yeah, I hate to break it.
It's on you. But we didn't get a chance to talk about it. Channing Tatum, really enjoyed him. I get that may not have been his interpretation for a full movie, right? But for this, perfect. Yeah, no notes.
Clearly, they had to adjust the interpretation for the tone of this particular movie. I imagine his movie would have been a bit more serious, still have the occasional jokes or whatever, but a bit more serious. I think they'd have worked differently with the costume and all of that. But he started out a little bit joke, but then they actually gave him a chance to shine, gave him a chance to look badass in the fight sequences. That's what I really appreciated about all the cameos. Everybody got a chance to shine. And I was worried, as we've seen in the past in other films, Jeff, they'd introduce somebody, then they get wiped out. Hello, Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, or John Krasinski is Mr. Fantastic. Frustrating to see that. Giving them a chance to fight all the way to the end, I thought was awesome. But no fucking cameo touches Wesley Snipes. I had no idea that was coming. And when it came and a press screening, I lost my shit with no shame. I was so happy to see him back. The inside joke between the two of them, you never did, was genius. And then having him have that blade line of there's only been one blade and there only ever will be, that was awesome. So to me, that was the highlight of the movie, seeing him being a part of the cameos that came through. Yeah.
I mean, it was good to see him, but it also felt a little bad. They're shuffling him out as blading. I felt a little bad for him. I don't know.
I don't see Mahershala Ali doing it anytime soon, brother, man. So, you
may be right on that front. We'll see.
The Daphne one felt a little bit wasted, but I like the Electro one.
I just think Channing Tatum is funny.
Yes, very funny. Do you think this did something for him at a time in his career where maybe he's not doing a lot right now? Do you think maybe people saw him in this and were like, oh yeah, right, we need to put him in some stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked him. I think that Ghost opportunity is a good one for a director. Yeah. I don't know whether he's going to end up directing it himself or Reed Carolyn, his producing partner.
Interesting. Yeah,
because I think that's been rumored, but I think imagine if you could get Guillermo del Toro
to come back and do
Guillermo del Toro's Ghost.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, that could be interesting.
Starring Channing Tatum.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, this one, Fly Me to the Moon and this is a back-to-back. That's a kind of.
He wasn't Fly Me to the Moon. I actually thought was okay, but he was not great in it. It's the wrong thing for him because he has a sense of humor and he's playing a guy with no sense of humor.
That's true.
Yeah,
do you think he could have been good in Trap? What about the Hartnett role? Do you think he could have played the Hartnett role in Trap?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I think this is the route for him.
Or the Hartnett role in Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
he could have gotten that.
That could have been interesting for sure.
Or Matt Damon or Casey Affleck, any of those fucking roles. I mean,
yeah.
I just think I've always thought Channing Tatum is a better actor than he gets credit for. Mm-hmm. Dating back to A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh yeah, right. Jesus,
he's electric in that movie. You just have to know how to use guys like that. Same thing with Vin Diesel. Diesel, everyone's like, dude, Vin Diesel, this guy fucking can't act. He's, he just mutters his lines through this Fast and Furious franchise. Vin Diesel in Boiler Room or Saving Private Ryan, he can act. Find Me Guilty. Find the right thing for these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're not classically trained actors that are trying to win Oscars through Shakespeare, right? These guys are like a little bit slight meatheads, but they've got brains in them, and they can play these kind of all-American roles or interesting roles. And so if you can find the way to put them in the right role, they can actually shine. You're not wrong about it. These guys are like the star quarterback in high school type of energy. You got to figure out how to use them correctly, and then you'll get the best out of them for sure.
The others aren't really cameos. Like
Right.
I felt like there's only one real cameo. Do you know which one I'm talking about in Deadpool?
Well, I think there's 4 of them, but yeah.
I think Henry Cavill is a legit cameo.
Cavill is a cameo. The Hulk was a cameo. Sabretooth to a degree was a cameo. And Lady Deathstrike, who was only there in the background, was a bit of a cameo. But
I don't know what the fuck. Yeah,
exactly, nerd. I mean, non-nerd. Exactly. You don't know this shit. The Cavill thing. What a colossal FU to DC. Don't you think? I mean, that was kind of a FU to DC, to the former regime, not Gunn or anybody else.
No, that's just fan appeasement. You know, that's something that the fans wanted to see. I don't think that has to, be translated or interpreted as a finger in the eye.
Right, if you say so. All right. Anything more to say on this? How does this fall? What is the best case scenario? And what's the worst case scenario here, Jeff, do you think, from this situation? You got the Russos coming back. You got RDJ coming back. You know this. Sometimes when they come back, it doesn't always really work out. And sometimes it does. It depends on the situation. So what's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario?
I think the best case scenario is that, these movies fare as well as they used to, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So like $2 billion.
$2 billion? Okay.
Yeah. I do think that is probably what the goal is.
Okay.
Now, given what's happened to the box office, I don't know if that's possible.
Okay.
But I mean, look at No Way Home, right? Like that performed, and like movies like Top Gun, like if it can outperform those by a little bit. I mean, Inside Out 2 is at 1.5 right now, I think.
Yeah.
I think 2 billion is possible.
Do you think 3 billion is possible?
In this day and age, I think it's tough.
For Secret Wars, where you have like 67 characters coming back, do you think 3 billion is possible?
Maybe. I mean, let's wait and see and see how Doomsday performs first. Like, and let's see how the if Fantastic Four is $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
That changes the equation. If it's a movie that is like Ant-Man,
and
goes to like the 450 to 650 range, that's different.
Yeah. Well, before we move on real quick, everybody who's watching right now, we got 600 of you joining us live. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday live. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate you all hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like button. If you're watching later, leave your comments about everything Jeff and I have talked about in the first half an hour here of the show. Leave your comments down below as well, and subscribe to Jeff's newsletter at
www.snyder.com.
There you go. Do that. Anything more on Hall H and Marvel's presentation? Anything else stand out, or did you want to touch on or talk about before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Nothing in Fantastic Four, nothing in Cap 4, nothing.
Well, the only thing that like we had talked about that I think maybe we glossed over a little too quickly was the money.
Yeah.
And I thought you were going to go in a different direction with where we took it, which is, are these paydays getting out of control? Okay. So like, to me, Robert Downey Jr. is worth it. Like in terms of the box office, just statistically, I think that he bumps up your movie several $100 million. And
in this arena, in the Marvel arena. Yes.
And so it is worth it to pay him an extra 50 or, 75 million. That said, there was a tweet that went viral from a guy, I think his name was Tyler Skuggs, something like that. Forgive me, I'm fucking it up, my man. And it was he had worked on Black Panther, and he had made $12.50.
Yes, as a visual, as a PA. He was a PA on set. Yes.
And then he got bumped up to $14 for Blade version 1. When they were working on that, and there was pre-production and stuff. And it's tough to reconcile that. It's tough to, like, when you've got guys making $12.50 to $14 an hour, and Robert Downey Jr. is making $50 million.
Yeah.
Like that it makes you a little sick to your stomach. Now I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not. I'm sure he's very charitable. I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. gives to a variety of causes. But
this is the tweet you're talking about.
That's a lot of money. And I know, Robert Downey Jr.'s agent would argue he's worth it. And if anyone's giving back money, why isn't it Marvel that's writing a check at the end of the day to these production assistants and whatnot? But it's pretty fucked up. And so, my heart does go out to the crew, because they work harder than anybody. They're there before these actors show up, and they're there after they leave. And to do it for $14 while the guy in front of you is making $50 million, it's like, it really just shows you how little they value you.
Yeah, I hear that, but I also look at it like it's a capitalist society. You're worth what they're willing to pay you and what you're willing to accept, right? And no one's coming to see a Marvel movie for Tyler Scruggs. No one. And that's the honest truth. And I understand Tyler the 1250. I've been there. I've made that. I've been broke. I've made shit money in LA for 3 years, which drove me insane. I get it. I've had to borrow money to pay rent. I totally get it. I'm not coming from a unsympathetic place, but when you to the victor go the spoils. And if you've achieved and you've seen the record, guess what? They're going to pay you. Same in sports. I'm not paying the guy that's 11th on the bench what I'm paying the guy that's the first guy off the bench. It's just it's the way it works. I'm like the towel person or the physical therapist isn't going to get paid what LeBron gets paid,
right? Because
the game. Yeah.
People will say, well, why can't Robert Downey Jr. just take $30 million and then they take that $20 million in savings and distribute it to the crew? And it's like, that's not how it works. Like, that's not what's going to happen. They're just going to keep that $20 million themselves in the studio. Robert Downey Jr. is now out $20 million, and the crew's in the same place as they were before. And that's why I think something like Damon and Affleck's model is interesting. And there was another movie recently that paid everyone the same. I think it was Sing Sing, maybe, where everyone got paid the same. Those are interesting models. I don't know if they'll catch on. I mean, I certainly doubt that they will at the studios and whatnot. But something has to change, because I don't know. This is not sustainable, and it's harder and harder for these studios to turn a profit. Right? They're relying on these Avengers movies to drive the profit, but when they have to give so much of it away to Robert Downey Jr., I mean, it's like, I don't know.
What we keep expecting, as you said earlier, that it'll be, these movies will start making what they made before. We don't know. In this climate, in this day and age, I have no idea. No one seems to be able to guess what these movies will do. If the backlash to the creative decision is strong enough, these movies might underperform. And if an Avengers movie underperforms or mixed results because of the reviews that aren't that positive about it, then it becomes an issue where, like, wow, we spent all this money. Like, what? Okay, so you didn't answer worst case scenario. His worst case scenario, the movie comes out, it's mixed in terms of the direction and overall tenor and vibe. Because I'll tell you this, what from the last few years has made us believe that Marvel can make a great movie again? Even Deadpool and Wolverine, you have story issues with it. You have problems with it. Even though it's making a lot of money, doesn't necessarily mean it's a great film. So are they going to be able to hit the heights? If they don't hit the heights and this movie underperforms, then you've spent all this money. What happens at this point? Does Feige walk away after the Secret Wars if it underperforms and doesn't do well and doesn't get to where it needs to get to? What happens at that point?
I mean, again, I feel like the whole timeline could be reset in a couple of weeks at D23.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if projects went away. Right? As much as I think I want to be here saying, I do think that Blade will happen. I think that they've invested so much time and energy into developing it that it will happen. It's possible it could go away. It's possible Shang-Chi 2 could disappear or something. Like, where is any movement on that?
I think the TV shows will disappear. I think we're not getting Armor Wars, Ironheart. I think all that stuff is going away.
Right. So I think there could be a lot of a big shakeup as far as the timeline goes at D23. as far as Feige and everything, obviously you stay through Secret Wars. I think you have to stay to see the X-Men launched, and then you can go, and that brings your career almost full circle.
Yeah. Do you think we get the X-Men revealed before the end of Secret War, like before the Secret Wars situation?
I feel like you would introduce X-Men at the end of Secret Wars, and then boom, X-Men's next, and then you bow out.
That makes sense.
That's what I would do if I was Kevin, but like it's bow out to where? And now we're talking, what are we really talking? 28, 29, like before the end of the decade though.
Yeah.
But like, where does he go?
Yeah.
Does he run a studio? Does he run Disney?
Yeah, I think he goes, maybe Disney.
The thing that I'd always heard was that he wanted Bergman's job.
Ooh.
Alan Bergman.
Right.
Who is, the number 2 basically underneath Iger.
Wow. I could see that happening.
He like basically the top creative role.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd always heard. But
okay.
That's total speculation.
I think Lucasfilm would be the next thing for me to go to. That's just me.
I guess, to try to repair that.
But it's a lateral move, right? It's a lateral move, right?
I don't know that you can ask him to like. I just worry that you would turn Star Wars into the Marvel universe. Like you would basically Marvelize it and use the same playbook. And I'm not sure you can.
Yeah. Isn't it like Theo when he went to the Red Sox and won a title and then went to Chicago and got them a title after so long? He could be like the Theo Epstein that goes in and saves these franchises. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. All right, Jeff, we got to take a break, man. We're 41 minutes.
Dude, take a fucking break, John.
We're going to take a break. And on the other side, we're going to talk about other things. But listen, we've got like 30 to 40 Streamlabs and Super Chats, Jeff. So we may only be able to talk about a couple of topics, and then we're going to jump into these questions.
Let's just come back and do the questions, man. That's what people are here for. Let's do the questions.
Anything else that you want to talk about? No?
We'll do the other stories after the questions are answered.
All right.
Let's get these people fucking satisfied. Yeah, people pleaser.
All right. We'll be right back right after this. Oh, man. All right, Jeff, let's do it. Let's get into these. I'll go back and forth between Streamlabs and Super Chats. Stick around, people. Max Law says Magazine Dreams release updates streaming when? Is it streaming anytime soon, Jeff? Thoughts?
Don't know. Haven't heard anything. Just wouldn't be surprised if something did happen. Okay. I think it'll be let's see how the fall festivals play out. Like that could be one that like they sneak onto, a limited release in December, like some tiny company to try to make a play, for Jonathan for Best Actor.
Good point.
I still think it may need another year
in
the oven, but we'll see.
Okay. Max Sloth also says, who runs A24 and why are they so secretive? I know Neon is run by key public people, but A24 is currently valued at $3.5 billion. But who are the key people in charge, Jack?
The Jews.
Oh, my God. Whoop. I'm nope.
Daniel Katz. No, there's 3 guys. David Finkel.
Okay.
They're good guys.
All right. Fucking good guys.
Hey, these are fucking good guys.
Like you said. He's a good guy. He's a good fella.
But I think I like that they keep a low profile. I think it's the opposite of the indie moguls who came before them.
Okay.
Like the Harvey Weinsteins, right? Who were always front and center and everything. These guys are like, we're going to be the opposite. So good for them.
All right. So here, JMH66611. I agree with Jeff on Deadpool and Wolverine. Not good. 2 hours of Ryan Reynolds' shtick gets grading with regeneration powers. Where are the stakes and 0 heart? Well, not everybody had regeneration powers in that movie as we saw. So, but Jeff, your thoughts on these? I think there were still stakes. Wolverine had stakes.
It was pretty low. I mean, the stakes are like your universe is going to slowly collapse because of the anchor being like, we're just going to speed it up. It was collapsing anyways, but we're speeding it up with the Time Ripper. I mean, what the fuck? Oh my God. Yeah. I thought it had a little bit of heart.
Okay.
But yes, 2 hours. You're right. 2 hours of the shtick. It's obnoxious. I mean,
it can get a little obnoxious.
And to Rob Liefeld's credit, did you see he plugged my newsletter today? What a good guy.
Nice.
Right? Because he knows I haven't been like a big fan of these Deadpool movies or whatever. Yeah. But like, love Rob. Always support him. Listen to Rob's observations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciated that plug today. So,
Nice.
credit to him for being the bigger man.
All right. Thank you, Rob. Mike McKenzie says, hey, guys, in the spirit of the Olympics going on, what are your favorite Olympic movies? Mine are I, Tonya, Munich, and Miracle. Yeah, I think that's
great movies.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right?
He's forgetting, the best movie.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any other. Oh, well, Chariots of Fire. That's my top one, I would say, Olympics-wise.
You guys kidding me? Come on.
I love that movie. One best
guys. Cool Runnings, man.
Oh, Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings, man.
Of course, I forgot about Cool Runnings.
Fuck yeah.
Please don't do that accent again, but I forgot about Cool Runnings.
Fuck, dude.
It's
racist. You're being racist by doing an impression of one of your favorite childhood movies. What a racist piece of shit you are.
I would say Blades of Glory. The Cutting Edge is a damn good one as well. Let's see what else you got here. Downhill Racer is a great Robert Redford one, if you guys haven't seen that one. And Foxcatcher, right, Jeff? Foxcatcher is a good film.
That is a great movie.
Right?
Let me tell you guys, I'm working on an Olympic movie. Okay? Everyone, you've seen this in the trades a zillion times. No one has cracked it. They've never made it.
Right.
Okay? It's a fucking sex comedy
Ew.
set at Olympic Village.
Oh, I like it.
Where they fuck like rabbits.
Wow.
Right? These world-class athletes. That's all they do.
Uh-huh.
And they just have barrels of condoms lying around for these athletes to procreate.
They do that. It's absolutely true.
I'm telling you, it's insane down there. What's going on down in the Olympic Village?
It's
like a porn movie. Yeah. So there should be a sex comedy, okay?
Okay.
It's called Going for the Gold.
Hello.
It would star, he's a little too old for it now, but the equivalent of a Josh Gad type. Okay. Think like Jonah Hill.
Okay.
And he needs to get to the Olympics, but he doesn't know how. What could he possibly compete in? Then he realizes that jerking off.
Oh,
okay.
We were there.
Keep going. Keep the elbow going. Keep the elbow going up. Keep the elbow going up, John. What am I doing?
Shake weights.
The javelin.
The javelin.
He's a javelin thrower. It's genius. Inspiration strikes him while masturbating one day. Wow. He becomes an incredible javelin thrower, and he brings his buddy with him as a coach, and they try to get laid in Olympic Village. It's genius.
Okay, I love it. That's there you go. Put it together, everybody. There was a film like that called The Bronze, right? The one that Melissa Rauch did, where she was
a has-been in that movie, but
kind of a sex comedy Olympic movie. Yes,
that was good. There's a very acrobatic sex scene in that movie. Do you remember that?
Don't get me started. And this is a public show. Don't get me started. Yes, I agree. It was a really good scene from her. Let's see what else we got here.
Thomas, you know when you're jerking off?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's, first of all, it's not that big. Thomas Lilliberte says, between Prey, Apes, X-Men, and now Alien, thoughts on the job Disney's done revitalizing this lagging Fox IP? From my point of view, they've done exceptionally well. Jeff, well, we haven't seen the X-Men one yet necessarily, but certainly Prey, Apes, and Alien Romulus looks fantastic. So would you say that they've done a good job?
I mean, yeah, I got to see Alien Romulus, I think, next week or maybe in 2 weeks. But yeah, I think it looks really good. I'm fucking pumped for Alien Romulus. The last Apes movie I didn't love, but it wasn't, bad by any means. Prey I was a fan of. And, these last few X-Men movies, I think it's been a pretty rough landing. Yeah,
so can't go anywhere but up under Disney's control.
I'm looking forward to the reboot because it can't get much worse.
Fair enough. That boy 22 says, any updates on the Mandalorian movie, Jeff? Any updates?
I tell you.
Oh, you've got
which star of the Big Lebowski is joining? I'm kidding. No, I haven't fucking anything for you guys.
I'm a Jedi, man. I'm a Jedi.
Is it Steve Buscemi? Is it John Goodman? Or is it Jeff Bridges? No.
The Jedi abides, man. Carlton Rutter says, London Calling. I have 3 new films I'm seeing next week. Borderlands, Trap, and It Ends With Us. Any advance word on any of the movies? Support from UK. No, I didn't get any screenings down here for Trap or Borderlands. And there's one for It Ends With Us, but I have no interest in seeing that one. Jeff, your thoughts on these 3? Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard. I mean, I've heard Trap. I've heard good things about Trap, but I don't know you know, what the twist is, if there is a twist. I don't know. You know, I'm trying to block it all out. But yeah, there's no screenings.
Yeah.
Borderlands. I did get an invite to the premiere of Borderlands.
Oh, nice.
Lionsgate looking out for me. Appreciate it. Fogelson, respect. And then It Ends With Us, I think, is going to be a sleeper hit.
Okay. Yeah, the Blake Lively one. Right?
Yeah, and we'll see if I have. Never mind. Go on.
Who knew Lady Deadpool could act? All right, there you go. Max Law says, is Sneider attending TIFF this year? And can he afford it after buying those expensive basketball tickets with his brother? I think you're still on the payment plan on those, right, Jeff?
I am very much still on the payment plan. And, you know, this week he texted me. He's like, listen, dude, like, I know money's tight. Like, you know, you don't have to pay the rest of it. Like, it's fine. I talked to the missus, and I was like, listen, I do appreciate that, and I probably should take him up on it, but I want to pay for the ticket because I want to earn that memory.
Yeah. I like that.
You know, I don't want to be indebted to him for like a lifetime memory that I know I'm always going to remember, because he's never going to let me forget it. So I am 1/7 of the way there. We'll get there.
That championship was amazing. Remember who paid for the ticket?
He was like, well, when do you expect to pay me back? And at first I was like, 16 months. He's like, what? It's like the interest alone. I was like, shut the fuck up on your interest.
Your family member charge you interest?
Yeah, like, dude, I'm a fucking.
What are you a fucking gangster? What are you doing? Charge him the Vic? It's crazy. Miguel Zayn says over under 30%. There will be a Doctor Strange movie in between Avengers 5 and 6. I think we need to see the incursions of universes from Clea and Strange perspective. I don't know where you people think they're going to shove this whole thing together in the next 3 years. Like, you know how long it takes to put a movie up, to write it, to shoot it, the special effects, post-production. Like, I'd be really surprised if they're not starting a movie tomorrow. I'd be very surprised that they would start a movie months from now and think they can get it out between 5 and 6 at this point, Jeff. Right? Am I wrong on this?
I have no idea. I mean, it does seem like of all the movies that you kind of have there, a third Doctor Strange movie makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, maybe you don't do Blade and you do Doctor Strange instead. And you push Blade to like the Mutant Saga or something.
Yeah, like you keep Blade in your back pocket. That would be bad. I mean, that would be bad. With the Mahershala of it all, because you don't want him to sour on the studio in general.
Yeah.
As far we need to see the incursions of universes. Universe incursion. I don't know what to say about this.
I just think it'd be very difficult to get it up that quickly. Let's see. Philly 19057 says, I got a question for John. Oh, for one. Who would you give the Emmy to for Best Animated Series, X-Men 97 or Blue Eye Samurai? I would have to give it to X-Men 97. I would have to give it to X-Men. Not that Blue Eye Samurai isn't a fantastic show. X-Men 97, the boulder they had to push up the hill to make that work, and the thing they had to overcome with the Bo DeMeo firing on the eve of the release, there's just so much to give love to on X-Men 97 that I think it deserves it for what it was able to do. Plus, it was an incredible film, or a series rather. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Racist piece of shit.
Why? It's a diverse cast in X-Men 97. Love Daggerborn says, any updates or rumors about the Ray movie, Jeff? Any updates or rumors? There's a lot of rumors, but any updates? What do you got?
I'm telling you, somebody from the Big Lebowski.
No, that's the Mando movie. What about the Ray movie?
They're getting the other ones.
Oh, for God's sakes. All right.
One's getting Buscemi, the other one's getting Goodman and Bridges.
That boy 22 says, do you think RDJ will also play the Iron Man?
I'm kidding about all this. Please don't pick that up. Go on. Sorry.
Don't aggregate it, guys. Do you think RDJ will also play Iron Man in the Avengers movies, not just Doctor Doom, essentially more than one character? Yes, I asked that of Jeff earlier. Jeff, do you have any more to say on that?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Right. Anything's possible.
What if Feige's like, we're paying you $50 million. You're playing 4 characters. For
right. Exactly. You did it for HBO.
And I know they didn't pay you $50 million.
No, you didn't pay $50 million for the fucking sympathizer. Yeah, come on.
Oh, possible. Some people are making a little bit of a deal that Downey Jr. walked right past Feige on Hall H and didn't shake his hand or anything on the stage, and that maybe this is an Iger decision. Do you think that's just fabricated conspiracy level bullshit because we're all into conspiracy theories now? What do you think about it?
As much as I'd love to indulge this, no, I don't think of that as a thing. I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. would be back if there was beef with Kevin.
All right, fair point. All right, Elusive Rock says, what do you guys expect from D23? I think it will be mostly Disney Plus series info, but I'm hoping for a Marvel versus Capcom release date. Hashtag Jeff was right about Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the D23 is really going to focus on the series. That's sort of what I indicated before, is that Comic-Con was going to be very movie focused, and D23 would be more TV focused.
Yeah,
I think that they're really going to make a big push for Agatha, because
100%.
This show needs all the help it can get. Quite frankly, I feel like, I mean, is it coming out the same day as the Penguin?
Oh shit, I don't know. I can look that up real quick.
It might be.
The release date is September 18th. Oh yeah, because the Penguin's in September. The Penguin release date is September 8th, so 10 days after the Penguin.
Oh, okay. Well, still,
and I don't know if the Penguin's being released all at once.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what to expect, but I'll keep you posted, Elusive Rock. Thank you, my man.
There you go. Miguel Zane says, what are the chances of Feige collaborating with more prestige filmmakers such as Barry Jenkins, who just did Mufasa, to do maybe the first X-Men film? Would it be likely? Any other suggestions from you both? Thanks.
I think that X-Men job is very attractive.
Yeah.
I don't, that's not like, oh, who's going to do Doctor Strange 3, where it's like the elements are in place there. You fucking know what the fucking portals are going to look like, and what his costume's going to look like, and how he's going to behave, and all that stuff.
Right.
With X-Men, it's a larger canvas to paint on. You get to make a bunch of decisions.
Yeah.
So I do think that will attract a higher caliber director.
Yeah.
Could they get Coogler back? Could they, could it be Barry Jenkins? Could it be Lee Isaac Chung?
Oh yeah,
who after a big hit like Twisters is also an attractive candidate, and someone who I think Marvel would be looking to bring in house before DC got their hands on him.
I think Coogler looks at the X-Men film like J.D. Vance looks at a couch. That's what I think. Dennis Hoffman says, Jeff, my active machine cleaner arrived. Who are the Avengers in Doomsday?
Well, hello, Dennis Hoffman.
He kind of looks like a cross between Josh McCouga and Oscar Isaac.
This is a handsome motherfucker. Thank you for clicking on the active ad. Who are the Avengers in Doomsday? That's a great question. I have no idea. But I'm telling you, Renner is not going to miss an opportunity to come back.
There's no way he doesn't come back.
No way. Like, this is like a guy who cheated death.
Bitches, I survived a snowplow running over my legs.
So I think that they throw him a bone and give him a role in this movie. Again, watching Mayor of Kingstown, man, remarkable how he moves. He moves like nothing happened.
Yeah. Deadpool took a shot at him as well, which I thought was funny. Razal Him says, I have to bring up the issue of whitewashing with Doom. He's a Romani character. They are an ethnic minority, people of color. Imagine they cast RDJ as a Black or Latino character. It's disappointing. This is an aspect of it I didn't address earlier, but I think that I saw this online as well. So thank you for reminding and asking this question, Razaliam. Yeah, some people have been saying this. Are they going to honor his Romani heritage here? Is he going to have an accent? But remember, this could possibly be a variant Doctor Doom, not the Doctor Doom. So they may be going with someone who has a closer tie to the Romani approach here for Doctor Doom, the main Doctor Doom going forward in the 616.
This Doctor Doom is going to be from New Jersey.
Okay.
This Doctor Doom hails from Delaware.
Oh. Victor Von Doom from
Citing backstory.
No, but it's a valid complaint, but we just have to wait and see. And I think they'll be valid. I think you'll be valid to complain about if they
is it valid. And you know what else? Does Robert Downey Jr. even have a doctorate?
Oh my God.
Can he even is he qualified to play a Doctor of Doom? I doubt it.
Yeah, there you go. C Black continuing his run of terrible takes both on Christian show and this show. Says, John, you're crazy if you don't think Doomsday and Secret Wars won't make Endgame money. This take is worse than the bet with Christian Harloff with Deadpool. Well, I'm not saying it won't. Again, if you listen with your ears, and you clearly did not get a Florida State education, because we do listen when we're down there. I said, as a devil's advocate, what could happen here as a worst case scenario. You got to listen to the words that come out of my mouth, not just jump into takes that you want to take and manipulate what I said. That's what I said. What would happen here if it did it? So it is possible. Anything is fucking possible. So that's all I was saying when I wrote that out.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
I don't understand these complaints about me not knowing how to use a mic. I put the mic in front of my mouth. I don't know if it can't pick things up.
If you need a fucking stand, or you need a arm,
and then you gotta stay stationary.
or you get an arm to swing in and out.
I think I need like a head thing. Just like go with my head.
Oh, that's a possibility. I can get you one you clip to your shirt. How about that?
It's right here. I don't know. Like it's right here.
I'm right here. Max Law says, I want to start live streaming in a similar style to your show. Any advice for someone just getting started? Yes. Get a good mic, get a good camera, learn the programs, and be patient with yourself as you do it, and have a good idea of what you want to do with the show, segment wise, regimented wise, and who you're trying to talk to. That's really important as well. So that's what I would say.
I thought John was going to say get a good co-host, but
well,
what do you think? This show's just about fucking equipment?
That helps too.
Why do I need headphones? Don, how does the headphones even help me? So like I would hear myself, but
stop listening to people who don't do this.
Understand.
Anna says, any truth in Lanterns starting production in January? That was reported today. I saw that. Apparently they want a known actor in their 40s to play Hal. All nonsense or something to it.
I think that's true. I think Lanterns is going to go, relatively soon. Top of the year sounds pretty good to me.
Okay.
I think Channing would be good in that role. I'm trying to think who else who do you think would be good, John?
Wolvie says, Wolvie also asked to go along with this. Rumor has it the casting is ramping up for Lanterns and that they're looking for big names in their 40s, 50s for Hal Jordan. Have you caught wind of which actors they're looking at? Give me a second. I might have an answer for you. Let's see here. Kevin Smith. I said this last time, that this is the Lanterns people that I have from my source telling me that they're looking at for Hal Jordan. Miles Teller.
Wait, this was good info.
Maybe. Miles Teller, Josh Hartnett, Channing Tatum, or Alden Ehrenreich. And I could see the Alden Ehrenreich as another chance, especially coming out of Oppenheimer. A lot of people liked him in Oppenheimer. Hal Jordan seems like right up his alley. There's elements of Solo and what he did in Solo in Hal Jordan, and he's around that age that could really work. So I like that idea.
The volume is all over the place. I cannot regulate the volume of my voice. I don't think so. I think that it would conjure too many memories of
Solo.
Han Solo. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't like. There are plenty of roles for him, and I do think he'd be good in a comic book universe. But that role in particular, as like in space, I think it's too close.
Okay. All right.
Not sure about Miles. Not sure that I see Miles. Who are the other two?
Josh Hartnett and Channing Tatum.
Yeah, I like Tatum there. I like Tatum. But yeah, let's see how Trap does. I mean, Trap is only slated to open to like 15 to 20, but maybe that's just Warner. I feel like that's Warner Brothers just lowballing everybody again. I'll take the over on 20. Over.
All right. All right. So let's move on here to the Racial Draft Podcast. Hello. Have you all heard anything about the Spider-Man movie and where it will be placed?
Who went one?
I think it's a Dave Chappelle joke there. Where it will be placed in relation to the two Avengers movies. I don't think it'll be out before the two Avengers movies. There's no way a Spider-Man movie comes out before the two Avengers movies.
I don't know what's happening there. Yeah. I thought it could go this year, like September, October, which is what I'd heard. And, there could very well still be time for that. But like, the more I think about it, it doesn't feel like this movie goes until 2026.
Yeah. I mean, like these two names, which we didn't even talk about. So Doomsday and Secret Wars, good names.
I like Doomsday. Yeah.
Doomsdays is 2026. Secret Wars is 2027. Am I correct on that in terms of the dates?
They are, and again, it wouldn't shock me if there were year delays for both.
See, if there's delays, then what I said earlier, all bets are off. Then you could.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, listen, these release dates are fluid. These are like the most fluid release dates in town, basically. But it wouldn't shock me if they bumped them a year.
Yeah, I guess. Chill in the Basement says RDJ committed his sins before working for Marvel. Majors committed his sins during working for Marvel. A huge difference. It's not deep. Well, there is a difference. There's not that much of a difference, I would say.
There is no. I get what Chillin is saying, because with RDJ they knew what they were getting, and they knew that he had also reformed his maniacal ways. With Majors, he embarrassed them.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He dragged Marvel's name, got dragged through the mud with his, unfortunately, just by association. And that is kind of what he's paying for. And I feel like that's, almost what I pay for sometimes in this industry.
The brand saving. Yeah, exactly. Are you dragging me through the mud? I hope not. Oliver 3748 says, to me, both Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool 3 cater more to fan service than storytelling. They felt half-baked and their endings unearned. I like Deadpool, though. At least it had cool new villain action and good acting. I actually disagree. I think Cassandra Nova is one of the weakest parts of the movie, not from the performance side, because Emma Corrin, they do a great job with the role. The role is barely in the film. And I think that's what's frustrating for me when I'm looking at Deadpool and Wolverine and doing an honest review of it.
I disagree as well. I think that Spider-Man No Way Home, maybe I didn't love the ending either, but like that had a story.
Yep.
And there was emotion behind those appearances. It wasn't just like they showed up out of nowhere and everybody clapped like, the monkeys that we are.
Yeah.
There was real feeling about seeing those guys back and together. So I'm going to disagree with you there. I did like elements of Cassandra Nova, but I didn't love the action in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, that scene with him and Alfred Molina on the walkway where he's like, hi, Peter. And it's like, that was really touching. What happens with Marissa Tomei is very touching. What happens when he loses at the end with Zendaya and Ned is very touching. So there's a lot of emotion in that movie that I think people don't give enough credit to. Mike Joyce says, Martin Scorsese watching Gambit's monologue about ejaculation. This is cinema. Yeah, there you go. Oliver coming back as well. Also, do you guys think I have a chance with Hugh now that he's divorced? Or should I aim lower and go for Richard Madden? Have a great night, guys. Wait, did Hugh come out? I don't think Hugh has come out. So wait, is Oliver a woman? I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to get in trouble here. So
is Oliver a woman?
I don't know.
Guys, is Matthew a woman?
Look, I don't know. I don't get involved. So yes, I think you have a chance to go for either one if you feel like it, and the opportunity presents itself.
Good luck. Godspeed.
Yeah, exactly. Godspeed. Ewok says, hey guys, what are your top 3 most anticipated films for the rest of the year? Mine are Conclave, Nosferatu, and Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim.
You got to do better than that.
Rohirrim?
Give it another try. You can roll your R's.
Rohirrim? Well, I don't think
there you go.
It's not a fucking Latino word. What are you talking?
It is actually. This whole movie is set in Middle Earth, but in Mexico. No. The War of the Rohirrim.
Did you know you're a dwarf?
What's up, Rohirrim?
Look at the elves, man.
Those are 3 good choices. What shocked me today? This is going to fascinate you. Do you know what Conclave is rated?
X, right? No, what is Conclave rated?
It's rated PG.
Ooh, really?
It's an adult thriller that has aspirations to win Best Picture. PG.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
I'm not keen on that.
You don't see a lot of adult thrillers that are PG.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because it's a bunch of fucking cardinals and popes. It's like they don't really swear.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
There's no fucking. So there's just smoking.
I would say Nosferatu, Gladiator 2, and Joker 2 are my most anticipated right now. Yeah, that I can see. I mean, Beetlejuice 2 is also in the anticipation box, and so is Alien Romulus. So those are probably my top 5.
Dude, let me tell you about a movie that's going to be fucking awesome, and that's
Mm-hmm.
called Terrifier 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That movie's going to be nuts.
Okay. All right.
They got a budget this time.
Hey, and we always know when people have more money, they do the right things with more money when it's a small franchise jumping up into the big one.
I don't know if I see Terrifier going horribly wrong.
Cowboys Fan 92 says, hey guys, have you seen the Disney news that as of 12 p.m. today, they laid off 140 employees in their TV division via Variety? I did not see that, but fuck, man, that sucks. That sucks. Jeff, see, I mean, this is what's so strange. And I think studios need to do a better job of explaining this to the general public. Because when, the general public doesn't have time to go knee deep into a studio's books. But when they see that you're paying Robert Downey Jr. $50 million, the Russos $40 million a movie, and 140 people are losing their jobs, people make that connection and say, well, why aren't they keeping these people and paying this guy? So it's just a kind of I don't know, it's a bad look in my opinion. But I know it doesn't work that way in studios, but I don't think everyone knows that. So just throwing that out there.
I mean, yeah, John and I have obviously been the victim of layoffs before.
Yeah,
so our hearts go out to those 140 employees. It's
Absolutely.
never fun, never fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Now and again, production says, John, did you see Twisters? And if so, any thoughts? And I'm wondering if you two had any opinions on no kiss at the end. I've heard varying opinions. No, I have not seen the movie yet. I will go see it in the next few days. I promise. I've heard about the no kiss. Steven Spielberg, apparently he was credited for telling Lee Isaac Chung not to put the kiss in there at the end. I don't know. Is it that's big of a deal? Jeff, is it a big deal?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
You're expecting a kiss.
Okay.
You expect a kiss. They set up a kiss. You don't get a kiss. What the fuck?
Where's my case?
Yeah, you got to give the audience what it wants. But I do understand the note from Spielberg's side, which is like, this is not really a movie in which the central question is, are the two of them going to wind up together?
Right.
And it only like kind of diminishes maybe what is the central question. So I understand that like that doesn't need to be the capper because they felt like that's not the story that they set up.
Right.
But the fact that they filmed it and then cut it, I'm just like, I don't think I understand it. No, okay. I would have liked one. They're gonna. Well, I mean, what happens in a sequel? Because there's probably going to be a sequel, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, they did this well. Of course.
Are they living? They're either together. They're living like in separate places. Like she's gone back to the city or whatever, or they're in the same area but not together, which doesn't make sense.
Right. Kind of a Speed 2 situation. Cooley High says, do you think we will see any of the main cameos in the MCU? I would love to see X-23 and Gambit return. Also, I think RDJ will be back for 2 Avengers movies, then maybe recast for Fantastic Four. No, well, Fantastic Four comes out before the 2 Avengers movies, brother, so he won't be recast in Fantastic Four. But he might be. There might be a new Doom in going
after Secret Wars. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens beyond that, but
yeah, if he sticks around past Secret Wars, I think that's a little weird, my personal opinion. I'd love to see X-23 as well. I don't think Gambit will return. I think that was a fun one-off, and I don't think there's any way he comes back. Leah Aloha says, any D23 studio presentation? It's next Friday. Predictions or scoops? If you already mentioned it, apologies. Catching the stream just now. No, thank you, Aaliyah. Thanks for hanging out with us. But yeah, Jeff, I don't really know any scoops that I've heard. I had thought that they'd announced Spider-Man 4 at the Marvel Hall panel, and they did Hall H panel, and they didn't. So, do you know anything about what's going on with D23? Oh, X-Men 97 too.
I have no idea.
What about this Kumail Nanjiani stuff? What have you heard about this? Kumail Nanjiani is Booster Gold. Any thoughts on that? Have you heard this rumor that he might be Booster Gold?
Zolo did confirm.
Kind of outed it.
Yeah. I don't know. Feels like there might be some smoke behind that fire. Fire behind that smoke. Sorry. Fuck that up. And again, I'd heard that they were looking at an actor of color. I think that makes sense. I know that he's traditionally like a white blonde guy, right?
Yeah.
I always had a feeling that they were gonna swap that.
Okay. Oh yeah. So any predictions or scoops? Anything on that one? No.
As far as D23 TV stuff goes, not really. I mean, I gotta touch base with my source. I'll touch base with them closer.
Okay.
So maybe in next week's show.
Yeah, next week's show maybe because it'll be right before.
We'll see what we got.
Yeah. Lemmy Ward says, "How desperate are Marvel? It feels like comic book movies are heading where horror movies were in the late '80s." Jeff, that's a strong statement, Jeff. You agree?
Horror movies were in the late '80s.
Yeah, multiple installments, bringing people back.
I guess. I don't know that. I don't want to call Marvel desperate. They just put up a $200 million weekend. Like, that's the thing. Like, creatively, I think that they are a little desperate, right? And they do need a reset. And they need someone who's going to, make these movies like events again.
Yeah.
In a non-jokey way. And not in a, well, wouldn't it be cool if we did this kind of way? But like in a way that has like a narrative purpose and serves like a storytelling purpose. So, do I like where it's like this place is headed? Like, I think it's going to be very different, right? Fantastic Four, X-Men, this stuff. I'm looking forward to this chapter because I think we've been caught in the middle the last few years, right? This has been the sag in the middle, and hopefully we're, like imagine like a U.
Yeah.
Right? We're down here, and I think we're going to be swinging back up.
It's about sticking the landing, right? If the movie starts well, there's a little bit of a drag in the middle, but it sticks the landing. We'll remember that it stuck the landing. All right, let's take another quick break here because we got to put stuff in for the podcast version of the show, and we'll be right back right after this. All right, 570 of you all are joining us live. Please remember to subscribe to the channel down below and hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the content we do here in the Outlaw Nation, including the Hot Mic and the other shows that we do here. And if you want to subscribe to Jeff's newsletter, where he drops scoops and hot items all the time on that newsletter with his bits and bobs, where can they do that, Jeff?
TheInsnider.com, baby, for all your entertainment news needs.
I'm glad we didn't do a play.
I've got some stuff tonight. I've got some interesting little bits and bobs tonight. We'll see what happens.
I like it. Francisco Lopez says, I have a mixed feeling about RDJ's Doom for one reason. Oh, okay. I have a mixed feeling about RDJ's Doom. One reason is I thought Kang will still be back as the main big bad by recasting Kang. Also, Tatum as Hal Jordan. Yeah, we hit on that one already, but understood, Francisco, that you have mixed feelings on it. Yeah, we talked about Kang. I think both of us are on that if he comes back, it'll be probably as a minor thing. It won't be that big of a deal. Yeah.
I'm just not invested in this Kang storyline. Like I'm behind on it. A big part of it played out on Loki, right?
Yeah.
I'm lost. So
Season 2.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Marvel is taking into account. That like, okay, this is how many people watch Loki. Yeah. If we put out the Kang whatever, people are gonna be like, well, who the fuck is that?
Yeah. Good point. All right, let's move on to Sam O's question here from the Streamlabs. He says, just heard that report that Bennett Miller, the director of Moneyball, is coming back and made a new movie that talks about AI. He hasn't directed a movie since 2014. Which director who hasn't made a movie in a long time should make a return to directing? Well, Jeff, you talked about Bennett Miller's stuff on your newsletter. So your thoughts on this?
I love that he's coming back. I think he's made 3 really good movies.
Yeah.
Capote, Moneyball, and Foxcatcher. So yeah, this next one's about AI, but he said it may not go until like 26, 27.
Yeah.
So it could still be a few years off, which, is wild considering how long the wait has been. As far as another filmmaker who hasn't worked in a while. Okay, I got 2.
Okay.
Richard Kelly.
Oh God, the Donnie Darko. Okay.
Donnie Darko. And I'm going to say Penelope Spheris.
Oh, okay. Nice choice.
You know who she is?
Yes.
Mr. Movie Trivia Schmodown champion.
Didn't she do...
Oh, come on, Johnny. Come on, Schmodown, man.
Sometimes I think I confuse her with the woman who did Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Amy Heckerling.
Yeah, Amy Heckerling. She did Suburbia. Yes. What else?
She did Wayne's World, bro. She did Wayne's World.
Right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
It's okay. I forgive you.
But she also did the Beverly Hillbillies. So really, and the Little Rascals. So
I'm just saying, Wayne's World is like such a great movie, and like those movies are creative too.
I guess so. I don't know if this. I mean, Cameron Crowe. Don't you? I mean, don't we think there's one more inside of him? Cameron Crowe.
He has one more coming. I told you.
Oh, he does? Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
It's the Joni Mitchell movie.
Oh, right. All right, fine. I don't know if there's any. I can't think on the fly right now of anybody that I'd want to see come, but I'm sure there are. I'm sure because I see directors sometimes like, where the fuck have they been? So. All right, let's move on here. Oh no, we did that one. The pay discrepancy. Fantastic says the pay discrepancy is outrageous on movie sets, but when a movie bombs, it's the actor and director who get the brunt of the criticism. That's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
That's 100% true, and it's their money that can be affected going forward, right? True. If the movie flops, then it's their salary that's going down. The PA is still going to make the same on the next movie.
That's true. See, Black says Tom Cruise made $100 million for Top Gun Maverick. Yes, he did. Luis Feliciano says, Jeff, what's going on behind the scenes with the SNL 1975 movie out of nowhere being renamed and the release date being moved up? Yeah, Jeff, this was on the rundown, but yeah, it's now being called Saturday Night. And when is it being released here? I had the information, but we moved to questions. So.
It's coming out October 11th.
Okay.
The turnaround time on this was wildly quick.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's like to get ahead of all the SNL stuff. Like, is the SNL 50th anniversary stuff next year going to be exhausting after a while?
Well, it's this year. It's launching its 50th season this fall. So
right, but
this is coming out in October of this year, which is crazy. Yeah.
It is you're 100% sure it's the 50th season this fall, or is it?
Oh yeah, it says right here in the Variety article. The release date is particularly significant since October 11th is the same date the legendary comedy show, which will be launching its 50th season this fall, was first broadcast.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if it was the 50th anniversary was next year, but they were celebrating it early because the celebration's in February. So I thought that for some reason they were doing it like in advance of the actual anniversary, but all good.
Yeah.
I just thought that like that they would draft on that for promotion and that it would be released around the same time and like they'd buy ads like around SNL 50. So it almost seems a little early to me, but again, if they think that they have an awards contender, which I think that they probably do, and Sony needs one for sure, then it makes sense.
I'm gonna give you my take.
Yeah,
and people are not gonna like my take, but I'm gonna give you my take, and that is, I think this is going to be the most safest homogenized film about that time ever. The fact that Kelly Carlin, the daughter of George Carlin, called them out on Twitter for not reaching out to her to talk about using her father's likeness or get permission to use her father's likeness, because he was doing coke before he hosted the thing. I think this is going to be a safe ass movie. Nothing about Jason Reitman has struck me as edgy filmmaker. So this is going to be a safe approach. And so they're using this to launch the 40th or 50th anniversary. So it's all connected in that way. So it's going to be like, look how sweet and everything was in retrospect, when in fact, there's a lot of sexism, there's a lot of drug use, there's a lot of abuse that was going on. None of that's going to be detailed. Or if it is, it's going to be lightly touched on like these biographies.
I disagree completely. I don't know. I mean, I have not read the script, granted, but like, I don't think Jason Reitman would be interested in making that kind of movie.
What are you talking about? He's done a Ghostbusters movie. What are you talking about?
I don't think that he just wants to do what Lorne Michaels would want him to do. I don't even know, like, is Lorne Michaels involved in this? I don't think so.
I'm just saying. I imagine I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
I don't think SNL has any influence over this, and I don't think that they want to whitewash it or
how could it not if you've got it dropping just before the 50th anniversary starts?
Who gives a shit? Sony has nothing to do with SNL. They don't have any deals with Lorne Michaels and shit.
I don't know.
They're not like, Paramount does a lot with Lorne Michaels or Universal. Like, Sony doesn't give a fuck.
If it's not homogenized, then I'll be very happy. That's what I'll say. I'll be very happy.
I don't think it will be. I don't think. Again, I don't think that friends that I have would put their clients in this movie if it was.
Okay. All right.
But maybe I'm underestimating my friends and they just have their clients take a paycheck. But
because I mean, he did Tully and Young Adult, which were pretty hard edge stuff, but like they were hard edge, but like in a way that you could consume. I just wonder how deep he's willing to go into all the shit that went on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what do you mean all the shit? It's set in 90 minutes before the show. So it's not like there's like orgies and like drugs. Like you're going to air in 90 minutes. Like that's the end of the movie when they go to air.
Hey man, a lot of stuff can happen in 90 minutes. You know?
Yeah, like getting ready for the show and the antics and everything backstage and like the power struggles for whatever. I mean, I just don't think it's not going to be
right. Then I'm right, because they're going to skirt over all of that stuff to just be caught up in what it's like to put together a show,
But like that's the movie that they're telling. Like I don't understand. It's not some overarching like history of SNL.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, okay, fine, that'll be fine. Because Live from New York is one of my favorite books of the last.
Yeah, that's years. Not what this is. But they did base it on. They did do their own interviews and they based it on that.
Yeah. You think "Thank You for Smoking" was edgy? Very edgy. "Thank You for Smoking." That was not very edgy.
Adam Jimenez makes a good point where perhaps Sony does distribute SNL around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why NBC Universal wouldn't, but it's possible that he's right. So
yeah, we'll see.
I still don't think they give a fuck. I don't think Sony Pictures gives a fuck.
Fair enough. Josh Maybe says, with all the actors who cameoed in Deadpool and Wolverine coming out all thanking Ryan for making it happen, how much pull does he have? Is he the LeBron of Hollywood? Well, I would say he's the LeBron of Hollywood for the Deadpool universe, because I'd like to show you the box office returns for If, and you tell me his LeBron nature of Hollywood. So, Ryan knows where the Hitman's Bodyguard makes money, but like, I don't know how much. I think he does have pull, but I don't know how much pull he has. Jeff, your thoughts on this? Outside the Deadpool universe, I mean.
I don't understand. Did he sign the checks?
No, of course not.
Did you think that they're waving the money at Wesley Snipes and he's like, "No, man, I'm good. I'm not fucking playing Blade no more." And then Ryan Collins like, please play Blade. And he's like, "All right, Ryan Reynolds, since you're asking nicely, I'll do it."
Don't make me play what he said, because that's essentially what he said, Jeff. He said that Ryan had to reach out to him. He got a text from Ryan, and that Ryan and him got on the phone, and that they've never had issues with each other. It was all stories made up in the media. And Ryan said, "If we can pull this off, would you be down?" And Wes said, "Yes, if you can pull it off."
That's just Ryan Reynolds being the producer of the movie or whatever, and reaching out and making that outreach call. That's not like, well, Marvel was trying to get him and he was saying no because he wasn't interested in doing it. Like,
right.
They just have Ryan reach out.
I think he's got pull within the Deadpool universe. I don't know how much pull he's got outside the Deadpool.
What do you think he came back for the goodness of his heart? This is a personal favor to Ryan Reynolds. He came back for money.
I don't know. Sharon Paul, thank you very much, Sharon, for the super sticker. Beto Power says, "Hey guys, silly question. If you could swap Will Smith for Keanu in The Matrix or Keanu for Will Smith in Independence Day, which one would you choose? Cheers." Oh, I'd absolutely switch Keanu for Will Smith in Independence Day. 10 times out of 10. I think Will Smith does not do what Keanu does in The Matrix. No way. Jeff, your thoughts?
No.
Which one would you switch? Do you agree with me or disagree?
Disagree.
So you would switch Will Smith for Keanu?
I think that I think it's easier to see Will Smith in The Matrix than it is for me to see Keanu in Independence Day.
What? As a fighter pilot, you can't, who's dating a stripper, you tell me you can't see Keanu in that role?
No.
All right. Welcome to Earth. Bam. Come on, I can see it. Josh Maber says, "My hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, is bidding to host Sundance. And I saw where they are now vetting the city. What are the requirements to host, Jeff? Would love it for my hometown." Jeff,
let me tell you the first requirement, Josh Mabry, and I hate to break it to you. The first requirement is don't be in Kentucky. That is the first requirement. Okay, there is not a chance. You can mark my words that Louisville. Louisville just rolls off the tongue like molasses. Louisville. Is getting some. It's not a fucking chance in hell. This Hollywood community that I live in is going to Louisville, Kentucky.
I don't know. Do they have that same feeling about Colorado? Didn't they have the same feeling about Colorado?
No.
Okay.
No, that's where everyone goes, to ski.
Oh, right. Vail and shit. Yeah, good point.
And hey, I love my people from Kentucky. One of my best friends out here, my buddy, my pal Sammy, is from Kentucky. He's my Kentucky Fried Jew, I call him. Very few Jews in Kentucky, or so he tells me. But I think that
you're damn right.
If it leaves Park City,
yeah,
I think it will. It could go to Boulder.
Yeah,
or it could go. I think the dark horse for me is Santa Fe.
Oh, New Mexico. I could see that.
Hollywood will go to Santa Fe. They're not going to Kentucky.
That's fair. It's too far out. Jeff Petaway says, "Give us your new Avengers lineup." I don't think we can, Jeff. We have no idea. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't even know. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and then
thank you, Jeff.
After that, Cowboys fan 92. Hi, John. Batman, Cape Crusader. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I think. There's rumors that they want to do Young Avengers, right?
Yeah. Please don't do that.
No.
Please don't do that. I would like them not to do that.
But I think a young female member of the Avengers. They who is that person who's sort of taking the Scarlet spot? Is it Florence Pugh?
I hope so. We'll see with the Thunderbolts reception, because I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of what I read on that trailer for the Thunderbolts, so I don't know.
No, I didn't read it. I'm not reading that trailer description. Come on.
Yeah. Cowboys fan 92 says, "Hi, John. Batman Cape Crusader drops all its episodes tomorrow. Will the Geek Buddies be doing episode reviews of it weekly? No, since it drops all tomorrow, but I did talk to them about us watching all 10 episodes and then doing a overall season review. So that'll probably be sometime next week." Dennis Hoffman says, Makagua. Any word on Carnahan? Not without hope. I was actually watching an hour of Narc last night. It was on the Tubi app. It's still such a fucking great show or movie. Carnahan? Any word on Carnahan, Jeff? Anything on Joe Carnahan?
Here's one thing I know.
Okay.
I know your partner Oaks is dirty.
He's a bad mama jamma.
That was my fucking Buster Rhymes, yo. I don't care.
That's good.
Your partner Oaks is dirty. Fucking love Narc. It's amazing. I don't know what's up. I mean, Carnahan's making the Affleck Damon movie.
Yo, your teacher lives in this place,
dude. When they put the fucking pool balls in the sock.
Come on. Good night.
Woo.
C Black back again. He says, "I think you have to do a Doctor Strange movie before Secret Wars of Doomsday. Do you think he'll be the most important character?" Yeah, a lot of people speculating he could be the anchor being for Earth 616. Possibly. I don't know. I 100% would have thought they'd have made Iron Man the anchor being, but they killed him off, so they can't do that in retrospect.
Here's a novel idea, John. They get rid of this anchor being shit immediately, and it's the last time we have this discussion.
It's a fair point, because the guy who presented it is the villain of the movie, Matic or Paradox. So how do you know he was telling the truth, right? So yeah, good point.
How do you know he was telling the truth? That Mr. Paradox, he's a sneaky liar.
He's a sneaky. Mike Joyce says, "Thoughts on the Olympics so far?" I've been enjoying it. Jeff, any thoughts on have you watched anything?
Dude, I've just been following the shit that's going down at Olympic Village. People are fucking left and right, guys. No.
It happens every 40 years.
I have not really been paying attention to the Olympics. I saw, was it Ledecky?
Yeah, Gay Ledecky won.
Yeah, I saw her swim like a goddamn shark in the water. Jesus Christ. She won, but she lapped everybody. Everybody was going in one direction, and she was going in the other direction.
Catch up, fools. Yeah.
So that was pretty wild. I see the basketball headlines where it's like one day they're sitting Tatum and the next he's playing.
He showed out today. They beat South Sudan today. It was a good game. I watched that.
A lot of good guys,
Good guys.
And then who? Jimmer Fredette lost in 3-on-3.
3-on-3. I don't know why Jimmy's even there. Yeah, both the USA women's and men's 3-for-3 teams are 0-2. So
How are we losing 3-on-3 basketball? It seems like the most American thing possible.
Well, because if you've ever played in a tournament, and Jeff, I don't know if you ever played in a 2-on-2.
I've played in a few tournaments, yeah.
You know that if you put the team together at the last minute, you're not going to beat the guys or girls that have been playing together for a few months.
That's true.
That
is true. You can be an inferior team and still win if you have better chemistry.
Right, because you know where everyone's going to be on the court at any time with any play, and that's important when you're playing ball. Here's what I'm loving the Olympics so far. I really enjoyed watching the U.S. women's rugby team through their whole journey. Getting that bronze with the last second thing against Australia was incredible. The women's soccer team is showing out. They've won all 3 of their games now. They won today, beat Australia, heading in to play Japan in a couple days. The men's soccer team has done well as well. They've qualified for the next stage. So I've been enjoying that, and the USA basketball team and women's volleyball has been fun to watch as well. So overall, enjoying the Olympics a lot.
I like the fat javelin thrower. That was a subtle plug.
Josh Gad.
We're going for the gold. Available now for $600,000 against $900,000.
There you go. Purple Funk says, I never get to catch these streams live, but I wanted to send some support and say, you never doubt the Sneider. First, the fantastic forecasting, then RDJ Doom. Rocha, love you out of theater reactions. Oh, thank you, Purple Funk. I appreciate that. Yeah, Jeff, you were right. Because I almost tweeted out as the clip from our show from 10 days ago or 15 days ago, where you said that one of the writers was coming back. Variety tried to claim credit as they were breaking the story, but the truth is you had one of the writers, Marcus or McFeely, coming back to do Avengers Secret Wars. They, of course, speculated that or reported that it was both of them that he's coming back for, but it is one of them that's coming back, and you had essentially said that the other day. So
I think that's a story. I don't know, who's going to break that or whatever, but that is a story. Where is Marcus?
Right. Why is Marcus not coming back? Why is it only McFeely? Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Did they split up creatively? Does he have something going on? Does a family member have something going on? Is he working on other Agbo projects while McFeely and the Russos, are off doing Avengers? Is he holding down the fort? Because he's not just a writer. Him and McFeely are actually Agbo executives, I believe.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So, maybe he's looking after the rest of the projects. I don't know.
Well, fair point.
Unusual.
Anthony V says, I'm looking forward to Captain America 4 and Thunderbolts because I enjoy more grounded Marvel movies like Winter Soldier, but the online buzz seems to be mixed to negative. Do you think these films flop or can they surprise and be great? I think between the two of them, Cap 4 has more of a chance to surprise and be great from the footage I've seen already and from the footage they showed at Hall H. I think Thunderbolts has a real chance to kind of underperform. Your thoughts, Jeff?
I like the idea of that asterisk being 6 bullets, right?
Oh yeah, the hat he was wearing. Yeah,
right. Because there was an asterisk on the title originally. Yeah. I have faith in Cap 4. I have faith in Mackie. I just think Mackie is a charming dude.
I like him too,
and I really liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, despite what Frosty thinks.
Did he say something again, or is that from the old?
He did. He tweeted.
Frosty.
And then someone on World of Real got, because it's like we got dragged into it because then your take on Frosty got dragged in and people put words in my mouth because I don't say anything when you go out. I
know you don't. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But you're entitled to your opinion, and
yeah.
So it was.
He's a.
Steve's entitled to his. I get Mackie is not everyone's cup of tea.
I like Anthony Mackie, and Frosty is a putz for having a battle with that guy.
Mackie's a bro.
Yes.
Even though Mackie went to Juilliard, I believe.
Yeah.
But he is still a bro, and he has a bro sense of humor, and that means that every now and then you get made like the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's solved behind all that.
Frosty's not a bro. He hangs out with bros, but he's not.
No, Steve's not a bro.
Yeah. No. Like Carnahan's a bro. Tim Miller's a bro.
Yes.
Not Frosty.
I
can pat him on the head. Luis Feliciano says, any thoughts on the SAG-AFTRA video game strike? And do you think GTA 6 will make its fall 2025 release date? Well, the SAG-AFTRA video strike is just a shame that we're back into another strike. But your thoughts on that, Jeff, and the GTA 6? Do you think it'll make its release date now as a video game?
I have no idea. I don't follow video games. Okay. It seems like these games are being delayed all the time. So I'm gonna.
True.
If it's, I'll go with no. If there hasn't been a delay yet, I think everybody's good for one good delay. So
fair point. Josh Mabry says Tom Cruise went to high school in Louisville. So you're telling me there's a chance? Oh, could Tom Cruise drive Sundance to Louisville? Come on. Now.
I'm sure there's a lot of greatness that has come out of Kentucky. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I love my Kentucky fans. I'm just saying, I know that the people in this town, the elitist fucks, there's no way they're going to Kentucky every year.
Here are the people
from, every year.
Here are the people from Louisville. All right. Muhammad Ali's from Louisville. Rob Riggle is from Louisville. Gus Van Sant is from Louisville. Ned Beatty is from Louisville. Jack Harlow, Jeff's favorite rapper, is from Louisville. Nicole Scherzinger, who just won, I think, a Tony Award, is from Louisville. Hunter S. Thompson is from Louisville, Jeff. You need to put some respect on Louisville's name. Take Louisville.
I do. I respect Louisville. I just know the people in this town better than people think. I know that they're not going there every year.
That's a fair point.
That is a bet you can. I am a broke man, and I will bet my life savings on it.
I think you're right. All right, Jeff. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. You want to lock it down, or do you want to do a couple more?
Is there anything else that was on the list or the original list that we didn't talk about? Trailers or
the Kevin Smith trailer, 4:30 trailer. That was actually. You know what? Let's take a quick break and then we'll hit those because I want to put a thing here. We're back right after this,
guys. Let's take a quick break.
Taking a quick break. All right, Kevin Smith, 4:30. Stop it. 4:30 trailer. That was awesome. I wish I'd done a reaction to. That's like my childhood when I just watched. What'd you think of that trailer?
Looks like fun. Yeah. Looks like a throwback, a bit of a return to form.
Yeah.
You know, I think that kid's okay. Austin Zazier. So that is going to be his son-in-law. Kevin's son-in-law. He has been dating Harley Quinn for a long time now.
Oh, okay.
I think he's okay, but he's never really had a movie on his shoulders like this one before. Yeah. So we'll see. But there's a lot of fun supporting casts and stuff.
Are we so old that Kate Masucci is a mom now in fucking films?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's jarring. That's fucking jarring. All right, let's see what else. The Penguin trailer. Did you get a chance to see the new Penguin trailer? Colin couldn't go to Comic-Con, was there virtually. Did you see the new Penguin trailer? Are you excited?
I don't think I did watch the new Penguin trailer.
Watch it, dude.
I don't think I want to. I think I'm in. I don't need to see. Right. Once I'm in, I'm not trying to watch more than one trailer.
Sounds good. Let's see. Do you think James Gunn was wise not to bring Superman to Comic-Con? Superman's going to come out before the next Comic-Con. Do you think he made the right move considering they wrapped up filming?
I'm sorry, I need that one again. My mind wandered.
Okay. What else is new? James Gunn not bringing Superman to Comic-Con. Do you think it was a mistake? Because that movie's slated to come out before the next Comic-Con.
No, not a mistake. Not a mistake. You don't need to rush these things. Just because Comic-Con is happening doesn't mean you need to change your timeline. They have a plan.
Okay.
The plan. So, I wrote a column about this and how I think it would be cool, and this is probably unrealistic given how it is late in the game.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to debut the first trailer at the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Okay. Like Superman at the Super Bowl.
That makes sense.
That is what you do. That is what you do. However, I do think that you'll probably see something sooner.
Yes.
It's a long time to wait for a movie that's coming out in July to just start advertising in February for a movie that size. So I do think that you'll see something around Christmas. I think that you'll probably see a teaser around Christmas and then a trailer around the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Don't you think that timeline makes sense?
That makes sense. I think you could see a trailer in Joker Part 2.
It's possible that you could attach it to that.
Yeah, because that's the DC universe.
I don't know if it is, but I don't know if it needs the help. Whereas there are other movies that could use the boost. Potentially the Lord of the Rings one.
Beetlejuice, Lord of the Rings. But I don't think as many people are going to see an animated Lord of the Rings movie as they're going to see Joker or Beetlejuice.
But it's about, you're trying to sell this to a new generation. This is their Superman, and young people are more likely to go see the Lord of the Rings animated movie than the Joker movie, which is rated R.
It is.
Right? So you have to keep that in mind. I think that this is not a rated R movie. This is not you're not trying to sell it to the Joker audience necessarily.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell it to the Lord of the Rings animated movie audience, to be honest.
Okay.
So that makes more sense to me, unless you really I mean, do you do the trailer or something with Mickey 17, which is like
no.
But like that needs something, you know, because that box office is going to be bad.
Yeah, because Joker comes out on October 4th, which is not that far away, whereas Lord of the Rings comes out on December 13th. So that's more in your time.
Beetlejuice isn't a bad choice either if you're ready by September. Like Beetlejuice is going to be huge.
Maybe a teaser in the Beetlejuice or Joker, but then an official one like.
Yeah, I still think that they wait. But we'll see.
Okay. Oh, yeah, good point. Aaliyah says Deadpool Wolverine is proof that young people will see an R-rated movie. It's at 500 million. That's a fair point. Josh Mabry wants to remind us, did you forget that?
No. I'm sorry. These are not comps. Okay. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
That may have an R rating, but that's that's a comedy. That's a joke of a movie.
But don't you think Fantastic Four trailer at the Super Bowl maybe instead? I mean, that's possible. Will Marvel own that area? I wonder.
Four trailer at the Super Bowl. I mean, maybe, but I don't know, man. Dude, the Superman is fucking. That's Americana. That's the Super Bowl. DC needs to make a statement.
I think you're right. All right, two last things here. The Spielberg movie. What did you want to say on that? You texted me about that. Anything you want to say on the Spielberg movie?
Just Josh O'Connor. It sounds like he's going to be the male lead opposite Emily Blunt. I mean, I like that idea. Pretty big gig off of Challengers and everything. And I know he's going to be in, was it Knives Out 3?
Yeah.
So yeah, his career's taken off, and he strikes me as a Spielbergian lead.
Yep, especially he just used Mike Faced for West Side Story, so why not use Josh O'Connor, who was the other co-lead on Challengers as well. Dune 3 IMAX releases. What is this all about? What do you mean by that?
Oh, so the Spielberg movie is titled The Dish.
Yes.
And while we are talking about titles, the Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler movie is supposedly titled either Sinners or Damned.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But so the title of The Dish was revealed as part of an IMAX investor presentation that also listed the Dune movie. Like it said it. It said Denis Villeneuve's like Dune movie December 2026. So just to remove, because that's an untitled film, and it was like just the trade speculating that it would probably be Dune.
Yeah.
That's the confirmation that it is going to be Dune, which is like, okay, if Dune 3 is now late 2026, do you try, like, does that become like a Barbenheimer situation if somehow you could get Spider-Man 4 out in time?
Yeah.
Like, would that, could you slot that into late 2026 and have Zendaya battling herself at the box office? I don't know.
Ooh, that could be interesting. All right. Actually, a couple more things real quick. Quick hits, man. Quick hits. Kevin Costner's Horizon 2 is set for a Venice Film Festival world premiere, Jeff. They're apparently going to show part 1 earlier in the day and then part 2 debuting there at the Venice Film Festival. I mean, that's pretty surprising.
I watched it.
Oh, yeah?
I watched part 1.
Part 1. So did I. Talk to me.
What did you think?
I liked it for what it was, and I thought it was actually a good Western, not a great Western, but good Western. I thought the ending completely killed what you had just watched. No one needs Next Time on Horizon Part 2 for 7 minutes of the ending of the movie. That was
it was pretty weird.
Such a mistake, man.
It was kind of weird like that. It was like, what is happening? This feels like a music video. I thought it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't. Yeah. It needed some cleaving or some space to breathe, or just
because you don't see Costner for the first hour of the movie.
It took like 40 minutes. I think 40 minutes for him to show up. Some parts were okay though. Yeah,
I thought the direction, like the cinematography and the look of the film, is beautiful. Like that's a Western, man. So I hope maybe it gets better from here on out overall. So we'll see. All right, and what else did I want to ask you about? Oh, yeah, all of that we did already. All right, I think that's everything. I thought there was one more thing I wanted. Oh, the Francis Ford Coppola video. You had a very strong statement about it on the Sneider. Some people were coming out saying that the video and they didn't complain. There was no other women complaining, blah, blah, blah. But the video's pretty clear that he's, I don't know, he's just grabbing a young woman. He's putting his breath near her face. And then we don't see what he does with his other hand. So she doesn't look like she's happy about the situation. But yeah.
I mean, I'm writing about it again tonight. I'm writing a mea culpa because she, the Extra did release a statement and say that there was nothing untoward, and Variety is making something out of nothing, basically.
Yeah.
And Fleming really came out strong about everything.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Watching that video, to me, it looked like she was trying to back away or push him away with her arms, and he held her arm down. That's what it looked like to me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We don't have time for the Scott Stuber predictions, Jeremy. We've run out of time. Sorry. I would have asked Jeff about that, but that's at least.
What do you got? Someone at 6, Johnny? You got a hot date with the Mrs. Alva?
I mean, we usually don't go this long, and you complain when we go 2 hours.
I got stamina tonight, baby.
Okay, all right. We got 10 more minutes. Go ahead.
Let's go, Poppy.
Scott Stuber predictions you posted about in the InSnyder.com, talking about him taking over UA. And by the way, you forgot to mention that the Rocky franchise is connected to UA as well. I'll let that go. But
what do you mean? What do you mean? Forgot to mention?
You didn't put it there when you were talking about the.
Why would it? They just did the Rocky franchise. It's Creed. That's what do you mean?
Yeah, but it's not under UA anymore, is it? So is it or is it
MGM? I mean, I was naming projects that he should consider doing like that. That's done. He can't get in on that, Stuber.
No, but I'm talking. Well, never mind. Go ahead. You were talking about great things that UA did in the past.
No, I wasn't.
Mentioned.
I was talking about projects that they had done in the past that Stuber should look at to do, which is why Rocky.
United Artists didn't just produce prestige titles; they made James Bond movies, Pink Panther movies, and even Woody Allen films back when he was a legit movie star. And that's where you should have put. They also were responsible for Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky franchise. So that's my only criticism.
Oh, I left them off the
you goddamn right you did.
I didn't include One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I didn't include anything. I mean,
just giving you shit. Go ahead. Talk about your Scott Stuber predictions.
No, I just think that United Artists could be positioned as their Searchlight.
Yeah.
Right? Like Amazon used to make movies that were real indie, or they'd acquire these movies and they stopped doing that. They backed away from that business.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they want back in, because they're almost like, it's not they're completely uncompetitive each Oscar season. But I'm trying to remember the last time they were a real threat. And I that's how I see United Artists being used, as like Stuber made all these good relationships at Netflix with these A-list filmmakers when he had a blank check.
Yeah.
And he now leverage those relationships into new projects at UA.
Yeah. I mean, I remember us covering this back on Collider Movie Talk when they made the adjustment. We might have been on the panel together when they made the adjustment from going after the artistic fare to going now to the stuff that was much more populist, much more mainstream. And I thought it was an odd move back then. So to hear them maybe circling around all the way back to this again, but just an arm of their overall film output, I think is interesting. But then I don't know. Are they at a place where they can have multiple film arms and people are like, oh yeah, this is their more prestigious stuff? I don't know if I necessarily see that, but I mean, hiring Stuber, that's such a smart move. So maybe they are kind of leaning back towards that instead of their populist stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to keep a handle on Amazon, because I feel like it's like constantly shifting, like where the goalpost is and what they're looking for.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think that people really liked what guys like Ted Hope and Roy Price were doing before they, got bounced. And
yes.
I could see Amazon using Stuber in that way, even though the Stuber that I know has the kind of like 4-quadrant big studio, like friendly commercial movie taste that Amazon MGM is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he can make 10 pulls for them, but does he, do they want to keep one hand in like the Oscar thing and use that as like their awards label with UA? We'll see.
Yeah. If you guys want to read Jeff's breakdown of where Stuber should go in the 15 projects that he could maybe revive, I liked a few of your choices. I don't want to spoil them all in case people want to subscribe.
Give me one you liked and one you didn't like.
Okay, I love the idea of Thief. I've always felt that is quietly my favorite Michael Mann movie. The idea of
that's insane. That's an insane thing to think, but okay.
Love that movie. No, because it just hits my 80s sweet spot. You didn't live through that decade like I did.
That's true.
My 80s sweet spot, Thief, and I love it. Look, obviously Heat and all of that, but like this is one of my quietly favorite like little gems.
It's a great title.
Yes, and to do it a remake, I think would be fucking fascinating.
Exactly. It's not an untouchable. It is a good movie, but it's not untouchable.
Right.
I think that's worth revisiting.
I'm not a Little Monsters person, so that was probably the worst choice in my opinion, but not
a Little Monsters guy. You're really showing your ass on this show.
Yeah, that's a 90s kid stuff, man. That ain't me. So yeah.
Maybe so.
But I did like, what else did you suggest here? To Live and Die in LA. That is a badass 80s movie, bro, that gets forgotten sometimes.
Totally forgotten.
That energy is awesome. John Pankow, before he was on Mad About You, he was awesome in that film with William Peterson. And I think was it Rosanna Arquette or Daphne Flugel? Who is it that is the female lead in Live and Die in LA? I forget. But yeah,
I forget too, but
that's a great choice.
Yeah, like I'd like to see Stuber make some fucking cool movies.
Yeah.
Who would you have direct that? Like, I don't know if he'd ever go back to the studio system or if the studio system would have him again.
Yeah.
Not that it ever truly did, but Refn.
Oh yeah, that could be a nice
like
one.
Nick Refn's To Live and Die in LA. That would be fucking badass. But
yeah,
doubt that'll happen.
Refn did Drive, right?
Yeah. He also did Too Old to Die Young, which Amazon absolutely buried. You had to basically type in the words Too Old to Die Young. You could have the words Too Old to Die Yeah, and it would not show up in the search bar.
And then you still had to go through a couple. Are you sure? You had to click yes. And are you really sure?
You sure you want to watch this fucking thing? Because we paid for it, but are you sure?
Oh, that would be a great choice, dude. I'd like him to do that. That'd be fun. All right. Well, there you go. That's our show. We got to get out of here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you all madly. Thanks for all the Streamlabs and Super Chats. I mean, it was a Streamlabs and Super Chats heavy show, Jeff, but we got into some stuff with the RDJ stuff and the Marvel stuff and, of course, other topics here at the end. So thank you to everybody for the lively chat. And, Jeff, let people know where they can
didn't even have the journalism conversation, John.
I know.
John is out of here at 6. He definitely promised Mrs. Outlaw a date tonight. Or he has another podcast right after. Another girl right outside the door.
I'm always working, bro. I'm always working.
TheInsnider.com. All right, I'll let you go, guys. Outlaw Nation, take care.
There you go. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget, tomorrow, 10 a.m. PT, the Geek Buddies go live with our Deadpool, Wolverine, and Marvel thoughts overall. So go and join us there, 10 a.m. PT live. And a new episode of Spill the Tequila will be coming out tomorrow or Friday as well. Look for that. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of The Hot Mic. Enjoy your weekend. Peace. Until